Your guardians should always be out there patrolling, watching, and keeping their eyes open and being observant. So let's look at it in a situation where you would want to stop gun confiscation from taking place. If your guardian's out patrolling and they see those cop cars coming, look guys, one cop car, yeah, that's normal. But when you see 4 or 5 of them, you know something's up, all right? And if you're living in an area where the red flag law is definitely being enforced, it's a pretty safe assumption that that's probably what the issue is. So you start seeing guys, cars coming in, they're rolling 4 or 5 deep, then it's time to start activating your QRF. Think of it like this, you can always say, well, hey, we didn't know if something was going on, we were there to help you, right? When in reality, you were there to defend your community and your fellow neighbors. Guys, let me explain to you how this is going to go down. I want you to understand what you're getting ready to have to fight against. Do not just stop at sending out your first QRF team. You immediately deploy your secondary QRF as well. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. Because what these guys are going to do, whether they're already in the house and now coming out, or whether they're trying to still make their way into the house, the first thing they're going to do, we need back up out here now, send me everything you got. That's the way they work. They're going to send every damn thing they got in the area out there. So you want to stop that from happening. That's where your secondary QRF comes into play. That's why the QRF has to know infantry tactics. In other words, how to set ambushes, get out of ambushes, and have to have something called improvised explosives. That's why I teach that at that level. These guys can now set an ambush and or a pop-up TCP, a hasty TCP, to slow them down and prevent them from being able to actually make entry into the community. Don't stop there. At this point is where your combo guy needs to get on the horn and start raising some freaking hell. He needs to be up there calling out all those allied communities. Hey, we need freaking help over here now. Send me everything you got. Send me your direct action force right now. And those direct action force guys from your allied communities are going to start coming in, and they're going to start formulating and working with those QRF forces, both the first and secondary QRF, to plus up numbers there. Do not stop there, because no matter how this ends, you cannot stop at that point. No matter whether these guys decide that, okay, they got us this time, they won this round, let's back off, or they decide to be stupid, because at some point, it's going to happen. Somebody is going to get trigger happy. It's going to happen. I'm sorry, but you're dealing with a bunch of freaking kids now that are working as cops, and they don't have a damn clue what war really looks like. At some point, that's going to happen, and you're going to have to take those dudes out. It's just a fact of life. It's the way it's going to happen. It's going to happen at least once or twice, but let's hope that's all. Let's hope that ends it. Let's hope that's where it stops. Let's hope they realize that, hey, every time we've tried this, we get the hell kicked out of us, so we just need to quit, right? Because you're going to be using, the QRF will be using infantry tactics and have a strategic tactical advantage and placement over the law enforcement are trying to enforce that unconstitutional rule. Now, at some point, you're going to have to take this a step further. This is where you start calling in those state militias, and you start having freaking protests right down the middle of freaking Main Street. You need to raise hell the second this happens in your area. But it is up to you, the guardian, and your community as to exactly how you want to attack this. Whether you want to put that QRF out immediately upon seeing this go down and try to prevent that gun confiscation from ever happening, or whether you want your direct action force to start doing covert operations later to, in essence, seek revenge, because that's really what it is. Me personally, I think nothing sends a better clear message than to be able to stop those law enforcement officers from seizing weapons from a law-abiding citizen and make them the ones that leave there unarmed. Now, how interesting would that be if they had to walk their butt the heck back out of there with no gun, no badge, and no car? Because guess what? That's not their property. That property belongs to the state or the city or the county in which they are working for, which means it's your property. You are the taxpayer, you are the citizen, you are their boss. So it is up to you to seize that weapon from people that are using it in a means or a manner that's unconstitutional and unlawful. Understand, if you do this, You cannot just stop right there at what happens in the community. You've got to take it all the way. You've got to raise hell. You've got to draw national freaking attention, because only when the eyes are on them are they going to start acting accordingly. Are they going to actually watch their P's and Q's instead of just trying to bully their way over the top of you? Yes, your guardian can be used to stop unlawful gun confiscation. And in fact, they can even be the very first one to step foot in front of the door to the target house and the local law enforcement say, no, you're not coming in. I'm sorry, this ain't going to work. But what's really going to back them up is that QRF coming out. So they has got to activate that QRF immediately. And you have got to outthink your enemy. Think 2 steps ahead of them. They're going to call for backup. I'm going to send secondary QRF down here. They're going to throw up a hasty TCP, and they're going to stop them there. Furthermore, I'm going to call my neighboring communities that I'm already established an alliance with, and they're going to send their direct action guys over here to help plus up our numbers. Then I'm going to go ahead and start calling the local militias, and I'm going to have them come down, and they're going to freaking storm right down Main Street and raise some damn hell. Heavily armed, guns out, freaking suns out, guns out, raising some freaking hell. Who knows what may happen? But we're going to prove and we're going to show that we, the people, have the freaking power, and we will not stand for this. Furthermore, those law enforcement officers that were there and trying to enforce that unconstitutional rule, those guys are walking unarmed, unbadged, no car, no nothing. You're out of here, slick. Go away. We'll return the equipment to the local sheriff, the local law enforcement agency at a later date and time.